Okay, so it's 10 a.m. on September 28th, 2020, and we are here today to hold a special meeting for the purpose of opening bids for the SIMS mapping project. Chris, if you would like to give us just a little bit of background information on the SIMS mapping to accompany this bid opening, that would be fantastic.
Okay, I will do my best. I will say that I haven't been directly involved in the SIM mapping project and development of this. And I believe that Judge Seamus provided a summary for the commissioners when this RFP was initially approved. So essentially though, SIM stands for Sequential Intercept Model. And what that is it's intended to help identify and develop community-based solutions for folks that are involved in the criminal justice system as a result of perhaps mental or substance abuse issues. And what it does is it develops, SIM mapping essentially develops a collaborative approach and model for these type of situations that involved both community health, law enforcement, and obviously the court system in identifying some resources and pathways for these folks to address the issues they have in hopes of reducing recidivism and avoiding, their continued participation or involvement in the criminal justice system. The RFP is intended to, the SIM mapping process and model was developed by a group called Policy Research Associates, PRA. And they worked on this for a number of years in the early 2000s and came up with the current model. The RFP that was developed and put out was a reflection, I believe, of the use of this model. And so the request for bids on that was intended to identify a vendor that would be able to work with the county to help navigate the SIM mapping process in order to identify the different resources that are available, perhaps where there are gaps in the resources or where there are similar, activities and such already underway that the county can, take advantage of in developing its overall SIM strategy. So I hope that provides a little bit of background. I'm happy to try and answer any questions that y'all have. And if I can't answer it, to find those answers from you, for you from other resources.
I don't feel like I have any questions at this point. Commissioner Mudge, do you or Commissioner Glenn have any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions. No, thank you very much, Chris, for that summary.
I don't have any questions.
Great. So at this time, I will hand it over to Crystal Hewlett, who is our finance director and who was tasked with receiving any bids that had come in for the SIMS mapping project. Crystal, did you receive any bids for this project?
Yes, we've received one.
Okay. If you would like to open that, I don't know if it's, is it electronic?
No, it came FedEx.
Okay.
And it was delivered on Friday, so it's packaged up.
Okay.
It is double packaged, so give me a second here.
Sure.
Okay, and they did provide 4 original copies that are stamped from, let's see here. looks like it has been submitted by the National Center for State Courts for the Lake County Justice Center project for court consulting services by Daniel J. Hall, Vice President, and Laura, I'm not sure I want to butcher her last name, Klaversma, Court Services Director.
Okay. Does it have a total cost on there, Crystal?
Let me see if I can locate that. There's a lot of background.
While Crystal's looking for that information, I just want to share that it's my understanding that the National Center for State Courts, those folks collaborated with PRA in putting the bid together in order to support PRA's submission of the bid. So I would anticipate that the actual service provider will be PRA and not necessarily the state courts folks.
Say that one more time, Chris.
So it's my understanding that the National Center for State Courts collaborated with PRA to put together a bid. And so I believe, so Policy Research Associates, PRA. And so I believe that the actual service provider will be PRA. But Crystal, is that not clear from the submission?
Without like reading all through the details, just glancing at everything references NCSC.
Okay.
There's quite a few. There's nearly 20 pages.
Right. And it
but
could be, I'll just share that.
Down to
Oh, sorry, Crystal, I didn't mean to talk over top of you. I was going to say, I just know in conversations with Laura from the state courts office last week or so, PRA, their resource was out of town on vacation the 2 weeks during the time that this would be prepared and submitted. So it was my understanding they were going to work with PRA to get the submission done, just to make sure that there was a submission. And that, frankly, PRA is probably the most qualified resource to do the SIM mapping, given that they actually developed it. And I think there was only one other potential bidder that may have been interested in submitting a bid, but they did not have the depth of expertise with it. And I expect once they looked at the RFP, they decided that it was not worth pursuing for them.
Okay. So with only one, we'll need to review that thoroughly before Wednesday, and I'll need to schedule something for Wednesday to make a recommendation and selection, correct, Chris?
Yes. So I don't know if it's possible for Crystal to scan and email a copy for that. That would be great.
yes, I can certainly do that.
Okay,
Thank you, Crystal.
The total proposed cost on this is, I'll just read the cost to you from their verbiage. The cost for this project is proposed in the task outline, and this proposal are firm fixed price of $19,907. NCSC uses labor categories and labor rates, and this cost includes professional and administrative time, travel, and indirect costs. An example of some of the costs included in NCSC's indirect cost rates is equipment, supplies, telephone, printing, photocopying, postage, audits, and other items. The indirect costs are based on an approved labor category rate chart used for all contracts, and then they have a table here for the initial kickoff, review, development, draft, mapping, workshop, draft report, final draft, and then the cost of project management is all broken down into the $19,907. They also have an optional technical assistance and cost. In addition to the above tasks and costs, NCSC would like to offer additional technical assistance following the completion of the proposed mapping project. The technical assistance provided by NCSC would assist Lake County in the implementation of mapping workshop priorities and recommendations for optimal use of Justice Center space to support improved delivery of services. NCSC project staff Michelle O'Brien and Patty Tobias would provide a combined additional 40 hours of technical assistance to move this proposed project forward and ensure success. The cost for the additional technical assistance would be $8,000.
Okay. Thank you very much, Crystal. I appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions for Crystal or Chris on this RFP or project?
No, I don't. This is Commissioner Mudge. I don't have any questions. Yeah, thank you for scanning that and sending that electronically, Crystal. And would we be able to set a meeting time Wednesday morning? Do we want to make sure that we are available? And I think it would be nice. I know Jonathan had, Judge Seamus had a docket this morning and wasn't able to join us, which is fine. I'd like for him to lay eyes on the bid or the proposal and ideally be able to join us in conversation Wednesday. I'm trying to pull up my calendar.
So Sarah, it looks like you're free in the morning until 1. I'm gone in the morning to meet with the Vail Valley Foundation. I could do it at noon.
I'm
Okay.
available at noon on Wednesday as well.
What's that?
I'm available at noon on Wednesday as well in case Judge Seamus isn't available to be there to provide comments. I can circle around with him and collect those from him and present that information on Wednesday.
Perfect.
That sounds good.
Commissioner Glenn, would noon on Wednesday work for you?
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Okay. I'll go ahead and get the planner updated and back to Patty so that it can be distributed, and then we'll schedule for Wednesday at noon.
Great.
So yeah, as soon as I get a scanned copy of the bid, I'm happy to send it over to Judge Seamus for review and let him know about the Wednesday at noon schedule in case he can join us, and if not, to ask him to provide any comments he has so that I can share them at that time.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
So this is Crystal. I will scan to the 3 commissioners and copy Chris as well.
Thank you,
Okay.
Crystal.
Sounds great. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it.
Sure, happy to help.
All right. Is there any other questions or comments today before we adjourn?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Glenn, do you have anything before we adjourn?
I have nothing.
All right. So with that, we will adjourn today at 10:14 a.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you.